When people are stuck and can't pay their bills, then one of the easiest way to kind of get relief is to sell your car. So we're back at car dealerships, walking down the lot here, because today we're going to talk about what can people do when they are stuck like Chuck. Because I'm going to show you a video here coming up with this young guy financed the car and the loan to value ratio is way off. And now is he better off selling it or is he better off keeping it? So I want to hear what you think. So let's give you a bit of background. So when you go out into the world, you're an adult and you go and you finance one of these cars. And all of a sudden you come to find that this wasn't such a good idea because I had hard times, I can't do and I gotta change my finances up. I'm not making the same amount as I did when I purchased one of these. And all of a sudden you have to make changes again. So you go back to a dealership and all of a sudden you find out that they're not going to offer you what the loan is for. And so then your first time of getting into a nicer car, something else becomes a trap. So let's watch this guy, what he's doing and how he kind of got there. So let's watch it.
All right, guys, come with me to take my car to CarMax. Times are tough, man. I can't make these payments anymore. You know how much I could get for it? It's my baby right here, bro. I got so many stories with this Beamer. Yeah, BMW 530e 2019.
How'd you done it?
I know it's a bad decision. You know about it.
It cost you dearly.
Check it out, guys. Yeah, CarMax. Their offer, and they're offering me $14,500 for the car. I financed it at $26,000, so that's an $11,000 difference. I'm probably just gonna keep the car for like a little bit more, and then eventually I do have to turn it in. But fuck it, it is what it is. Comment what you guys think I should do.
So this is an interesting scenario because he's $11,000 upside down. And so if he's like, I can't afford the payment anymore and I'm going to get into something else, he might be in some big trouble because what are you going to do? If you're upside down on a car like that, and let's say you need something else, you got to buy something else that you can drive around in because nobody's going to get a free car unless your family's like, here's our old car. You can keep that one. But if you want to then go out and buy something else, you have to pay for it. And if you're going to go to the dealership and write an $11,000 check and get rid of it, and then all of a sudden you're like, I got to get something else again. And then all of a sudden you're like, I got to get a $2,000 car. So then you spend $13,000 on a beater car. That's how I look at it, rather than just trying to figure out how can I make $11, $12, $13,000 and then figure out how can I make more money or how can I increase my income with sales, with marketing, with doing the social media or something else so I can keep my car. But it is absolutely brutal when people don't know what they're getting themselves into and then they go sit in the finance office and all of a sudden it's like, okay, you signed the loan, you signed the paperwork, now you're hitting hard times and now you can't make the payment. And then it's like, okay, let's get a way cheaper car, but then that car might not be reliable, it's not what you wanted, and then all of a sudden you're going to pay for it regardless. And so I always say you got to figure out where your life is going to go. Is it moving in a trendy upwards position, or are you like, the economy's not looking so good and let me put some insurance in place? Hey, just really quick, if you would like and subscribe, that would really help out my channel. And yeah, let's continue on with the video. Thank you. And when I talk about insurance, I'm not telling you go out and buy some life insurance or something else. No, when I talk about putting some insurance in places, maybe you want to buy a brand new Toyota. And maybe like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should look at something way, way cheaper. And I go buy, instead of a $30,000 brand new Toyota, I go buy a $9,000 one. And now people are like, oh, it's new Toyotas last you way, way longer. But you still, if you're going to pay cash for it, you still have $20,000 to do other stuff, to pay rent or do other things if hard times hit. And when I'm looking at the lot, it's stacked full. It is literally stacked. And so this is what I keep telling people. Look at where your finances are. Make sure that when you're going to get into the finance office, if you're going to go do something, that you are not going to be stuck because these cars are nice. Look at that brand new white 2025. Let's see if they have any window sticker on it. Cracking the windshield though, as is. No, they don't have. You have to go online now. Let's see if we can scan the QR code. Okay, let's scan the QR code. Oh, this was the financing. They don't even. Here we go. Let's look at that. They want $53,000 for this. And I'm gonna have it on the screen. So if you're making $60,000-$70,000 and you're gonna go finance one of these, it's just absolutely crazy. And this is the problem with these high used car prices. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe. So in a little bit here, I'm going to show you another video of a used car dealer that says that we're in a recession territory and we are in repos and everything else since COVID. And this is absolutely crazy when you think about it, that we reached those levels right during or before COVID. And so this is what happens to people. They go out, they finance cars that they can't afford, and then all of a sudden they're surprised that you cannot keep the payment, you can't keep the car, and you are now in trouble. But the lot is full. It's full with 50, 60, 70, $80,000 cars. So let's go check out what Yusuf has to say.
The U.S. auto loans delinquent by 90 days or more has reached a level beyond COVID level, right? As June 30th, 2025, we have almost a 5% delinquency level that is 90 days or more. Let's look at a 5-year chart. We're reaching pretty much what we had during COVID. Now, a lot of this was subsidized money. There was a lot of deferments, a lot of aid from the government to help people during COVID times. But now people are starting to see things are getting more expensive and people are unfortunately can't catch up and can't catch a breath. There's even an article that was posted that Americans are behind on car payments at a record level. As you can see, most of the auto loan delinquencies come from subprime borrowers. If you're subprime, that means you've had some prior issues with your credit. Right now, 6.6% of subprime auto borrowers were at least 60 days past due on their loans in January 2025. This is the highest level since the agency began collecting data. So what does this mean? That means that we are seeing an effect on subprime buyers, people that have bad credit, limited income, because vehicle prices are getting higher. Car insurance is more expensive because that's also credit based as well. So you have to understand that a lot of times this is affecting the middle class and the poor class. And I tell people all the time, it is very expensive being poor. If you make poor decisions and you are stuck in this mentality of just like getting into whatever you can because you don't have a lot of money down. I get it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But understand this puts us in that cyclical, very bad path into financial disaster, generational pain instead of generational wealth. We got to break that cycle. In this situation, there's nothing wrong with going to go buy a $2,000 cheap car. There are plenty I've seen on Facebook Marketplace, a Volkswagen Passat with a 2.5 motor, a Honda Accord, a Honda Civic. These are all cars that are known for how cheap it is to repair, how cheap it is to insure, and how reliable they are. And they have the basic necessities. Just be resourceful. You have to go to difficulties to understand that you have to better yourself to get into a position that you can afford those things, not because you deserve them, because you are where you are. You got to work for those things. You got to earn those things. And those things may not give you happiness. I've had it all. I've had money. I've had cars. It never brought me happiness. What brought me happiness is stability, serenity when it comes to understanding that my mental peace comes from the fact that I am truly grateful and happy for what I have. And even though it may not necessarily be the best that I want, it gets the job done.
Is some of the stuff that I always tell people. It is like if you have a rubber band and you spread it with your fingers, right? One of them is student loans, one of them is your car payment, one of them is health insurance, and one of them is just your everyday necessities. And all of a sudden, it starts stretching, 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 and it might break because it's just too much stretching. There's too much pressure on you to keep up the car, to keep up insurance, to keep everything up. And then what happens is people are like, let me get out of it. And then all of a sudden they found out, ooh, getting out of it is too expensive. It is not what I signed up for, or I didn't understand it enough. And people always tell you in the car sales, in every sales, they say, oh, good times are coming, you're going to be good. But if good times aren't coming for you and stuff happens to people all the time, and then you're like, ooh, I shouldn't have done this. And as an adult, you always pay with money. Every mistake is blood, sweat, tears, and money. It just happens like that. And this is why I tell people all the time, know your financial situation, know what you get yourself into. And one of the things that he was talking about, and I actually looked it up, is that these cars, it's nice to drive super fancy cars. It's really nice to have luxury cars and all that. But if you notice that there's Ferraris for sale with used for 800-900 miles. So my thing is probably that people that are super wealthy, they bought these, it got them excitement, it got them joy for 900 miles, and then you're like, okay, I'm over it, and then they resell it. And so if these people that are super wealthy only get enjoyment for 900, 1,000, 2,000 miles on it, let that be a lesson. You don't have to get one of these Rams that's like $100,000. No, you can get one that is a quarter of the price, and then use the money for an emergency fund, use the money for compound interest, invest it into something you know something about. And then all of a sudden, you will become generational wealthy. But you have to take stuff into your own hands and start breaking that cycle, because he said it's so expensive to be poor. And in order for you to become wealthy from being poor, is you save money, you're trying to break the habit, and you don't go out once you're starting to make more money to then buy nicer things, because then at the end of the day, you're still as broke as you were before. And if you then you lose your job, you are even more stuck. So listen for me, if you're looking for a job, you're like, you're gonna do all this, and if you're gonna sit into a car dealer like this, just make sure that you're not gonna go and finance one of these crazy cars, these crazy car payments, and being like, I want to finance something for 12, 1300 or $1,600 before gas and insurance. Because I'm telling you, the car payment might stay the same, but insurance is going to go up every year. Gas prices are constantly on the rise, and registration also super expensive. And all of a sudden, you're looking at it like, man, I'm sure getting squeezed. And then look at how much time you're spending for that one thing. So when you're working for a fixed amount of time, so let's say you work at Safeway, Albertson, Publix, Walmart, or something else, and you make $30, $40, $50 an hour, and then you can kind of calculate out how much you're going to allocate, how much time it literally costs you to keep your car. And then you're going to look at it like, man, that's ridiculous. For an $800 car payment, I make X amount. I'm working just a week for just keeping my car. And if it were for you to be away from your family for a week to just keep that car, is it worth you being away every week? So basically, a quarter of the year just for your car? I don't know. That's what you got to have to decide for yourself. But this is life for so many Americans. They think, oh my gosh, let me just go out and finance whatever it is. Because these banks, if you have good credit, they'll tell you, oh, just come in 0%. And they're just going to be like, yeah, let me just roll the debt onto you, and we're just building nicer cars now. And so then you're done. So make sure that you're like, no, 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 no. Because one of the things I haven't talked about in this channel is that if you stop buying, they have to reinvent themselves. Let's say you're looking at this one and you start stopped, and you're like, oh, I really want a Toyota, but it's too expensive. And so everybody thinks the same way. And all of a sudden, then they're like, okay, so we have to do something. They have to redesign. They have to then think about pricing. They have to rethink all of that. But if people keep going buying, then there's nothing wrong, right? If you're selling something and people are keep signing up, why change anything? If people keep going and buying, then there's nothing wrong in the system, right? And those what those executives think. If people keep buying, then they're like, okay, we're good. Let's not worry about it. But once people stop buying, then we got to go back to the drawing books. We got to see, can we decrease prices? Maybe it doesn't need a screen everywhere. Maybe making a car with 9 screens in it is not what people want. Maybe I should just go back to the roots and have 2 screens or something else like it. We don't need AI powered wheel caps. We don't need AI powered whatever. And we don't need subscription to heated seats and everything else. So if you're stop buying, they have to reconsider. And this is what happened with Jimmy Kimmel. This is what happened with Netflix. When all of a sudden stocks drops, when people stop subscribing, it creates panic. Shareholders, everything. But Americans are like, I need that Lexus, I need that Toyota, I need this, and I need that. They go out, they finance it, they say, oh, it's 0% interest. All of a sudden, comes to find out that 0% interest just meant that we kept all the profits, we just given it to you at 0%, or we could have discounted the car a little bit and given you an interest rate. So at the end of the day, it's all the same. So yeah, this is what it's all about. You have to know your finances. And I'm keep telling you, now it's even easier. If you understand zero from finances, upload your statement. Upload your statement. Snip it out and upload it to AI and say, not with your routing number and everything, but download it, crop it, and say, where can I save? How can I better myself? Give it some cool prompts, and all of a sudden you will see how it will do it. And then say, make me a spreadsheet, make me a chart. How much am I going to be? What's my net worth going to be over 10 years if I keep spending? What's my decrease? Or how much am I going to be in debt over the next 5, 10 years? And you will then see, do I have positive cash flow, negative cash flow? And yeah, you'll be shocked when you do this, when you're going to do that run into the AI tool or the or the chat bot, and all of a sudden it's going to say, yeah, in 2 years you're going to be negative $30,000 because you're spending way more on credit cards and everything else than you're making. And then it's hard for you to justify that because you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to make more. I'm waiting on a bonus. I'm waiting on this one sale. And yeah, that's kind of it. And I haven't made a video in 2 days. So I've been in the hospital. Allie gave birth to Calvin. So I'm officially a dad now. I'm super excited about that. I learned a lot during this last 48 hours. I've been into the hospital and Allie had a C-section. So I saw how the hospital kind of operates. And I saw that where these extravagant health costs are coming from. So in the operating room, there were two doctors, an anesthesiologist and a normal doctor. And I don't know if there was another one. I couldn't really tell from their tags on them, but I've seen like 8 or 9 or 10 nurses running around. And so just the amount of time that all these people were there, that these healthcare costs are just through the roof if you have that many people in there. Were they're all needed? I'm no expert. But one thing I can tell you, nurses are the angels of the world. I'm telling you, nurses, they're underappreciated. And if you are a nurse, my heart goes out to you. I appreciate you so much. And if you're in the healthcare field, man, there's some tough stuff going on with funding and everything. But yeah, it is just crazy when you're in the hospital. And it's funny because you're in joyful, or you're very bad, you're down on your luck and you got cancer or whatever. And for them it's a job. It's like you going into cars, into selling cars, just like these people standing out front. It's a job for them. And so it's a job for them, but we expect them to be on top of their game because it's us, it is our lives. And then we forget real quick that these nurses um are just humans too. So yeah, I love it. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey. And yeah, this was over the weekend. So yeah, this was kind of it. I didn't do a video Saturday, so I'm going to make that coming up here. I got projects coming up. So yeah, it's going to be I'll check you on a job site of mine, hopefully I can make that happen and see how stuff's going to go, but I have to wait to post it. And yeah, because I had to film a little bit, show you some stuff. And yeah, this was kind of it for this video. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. That would really help out the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.